We are back at it once again, everyone. It is time for some predictions. It is time for the NXT Takeover predictions. NXT Takeover Toronto. Once again, they are heading back to Toronto, Canada. This is the second time they have gone to Toronto. So the first match we're going to be talking about is Candice LeRae taking on Io Shirai. The new Io Shirai, where she is now a heel, not a babyface. So Io Shirai, I have heard stories about what she's done as a heel, and I think, she's been a decent heel. It's something that I want to see Asuka become. What Io Shirai is, I feel like Asuka should become on the main roster. But Candice LeRae, everyone's looking at this and they're gonna be like, oh, because Io Shirai's the new heel, there's no. Candice is just a stepping stone for Io Shirai to get built up. Guys, there's something I think these people need to understand, is that Io Shirai's a heel and currently Shayna Baszler is the NXT Women's Champion. It makes no sense for Io Shirai to be built up as a dominant heel. The only way she could ever get that is that if Mia Yim ends up winning the championship, which I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think Candice LeRae is gonna win this match. I don't think Io Shirai really needs to be in NXT anymore, because we're coming up to the point where there will possibly be more main roster call-ups, some more NXT call-ups. We're getting to the point where that will probably happen. We are getting to the point where we probably are going to get some more NXT call-ups. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a couple more call-ups. Like I mentioned on my SmackDown review, I've heard stories that the that the wildcard rule could be coming to an end, and maybe they do a complete refresh with the rosters, and they also add in a couple of extra NXT talents to each roster. Who knows? I think Candice LeRae is going to win this match, because I think Candice LeRae is the only person that makes sense to take on Shayna Baszler at this point. She's the only babyface. She's the only babyface left that Shayna Baszler has not challenged, has not taken on for the NXT Women's Championship. They're not using Aaliyah. They're not using Vanessa Bourne. They're not using Xia Li. They're not using Tariana Conti. They're not using Deonna Purrazzo. There's so many women on NXT's payroll they're not using. So I'm predicting Candice LeRae. Next we got Shayna Baszler and Mia Yim for the NXT Women's Championship. As much as I believe it is time for a new NXT Women's Champion, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Shayna Baszler is gonna retain, and I just think she's gonna keep on going. I just don't think this will. Every time there's been reports, because there's reports going out that Shayna Baszler is gonna get called up to the main roster. Every time there are reports about Shayna Baszler getting called up to the main roster, Shayna Baszler always ends up winning. So every time there's reports about Shayna Baszler getting called up, she's gonna win. I'm sick of Shayna Baszler as champion as much as other people would be. But all I'm saying is, I just don't think Mia Yim's winning. That's just my personal opinion on that. Velveteen Dream to defend his North American Championship against Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. With all due respect, can someone tell me why Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong are valuable contenders for the North American Championship? With all due respect. With all due respect. Can you tell me what these two guys have done? Outside of Pete Dunne nearly being the UK champion for nearly 2 years. The only reason why Roderick Strong is in this match is because he's a part of the Undisputed Era. They've got no one for Velveteen Dream. See, this is the issues that I have here. These are the issues that I have here with NXT. I always hear fans say this about the main roster. I hear the fans say this all the time at the main roster. You need to build up credible challenges. You need to have number one contender matches to determine the next contender to a championship. Where the hell was a number one contenders match for Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong? Why the hell are these two guys getting a title shot when they clearly haven't done anything to earn it? This is just my logical thinking here. I'm not trying to be all like, oh, I can't wait for this match. Well, I do. I can't wait for the match. But I don't want to be one of those people that's just going to accept the match without asking questions. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Great match. Can't wait for it. I'm going to pick someone to win. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm here to ask questions. What has Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong done to truly deserve a shot at the North American Championship? They haven't been built up. Pete Dunne has been spending majority of his time in NXT UK. And now all of a sudden you want to move him over to NXT? I don't have a problem with them moving him to NXT. But you're just going to give him a title match? Without even working for it? Without even building him up for it? If he's going to challenge for the North American Championship, why didn't you have him debut or re-debut and beat Roderick Strong in a match, and then you set him up to be a contender? Again, I understand this is Triple H's work. I understand people like NXT. But I'm here to ask questions. I'm not going to be one of those people that's just going to accept what's given to me, and I'm not going to accept everything that's given to me. I'm going to ask questions. So again, in my honest opinion, Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong have really done nothing to truly deserve this. But I can probably see what's going to happen. Roderick Strong is most likely going to win this match, so I'm going to pick Roderick Strong. Because, you know, he's a part of the Undisputed Era, and we know how much Triple H loves the Undisputed Era. Next, we got Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, defending their titles against the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Now, again, I'm here to ask questions. I'm not going to accept everything that's given to me. Why give the Street Profits the NXT Tag Team Championships and ultimately have them lose? Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, how do you know they're going to lose? It's clear as freaking day. They're on Monday Night Raw. It's clear as day. Angelo and Montez have been hanging around on Monday Night Raw. It's clear as day. They're on the main roster. Sure, they could swerve us and still have Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford retain their titles. But at the end of the day, they're on the main roster. They're on the main roster. Sure, their profile pics haven't been placed on Raw yet. Sure, their little profiles haven't been put on Raw yet. But still, they're hanging around on Raw. This is the same stuff that happened to Ricochet and Aleister Black. And Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa before they both were sent back to NXT because of Ciampa's injury. But I'm telling you, why make Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford transitional champions? Why make them transitional champions? I don't understand why you need to shove the Undisputed Era. Again, more Undisputed Era. It's more Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era is basically the only tag team NXT has at this point, considering that they are the most popular faction right now. To me, it makes no sense. Undisputed Era vow to leave draped in gold. And surprise, surprise, it's gonna happen. People are going to enjoy this event because of the match quality of these matches. But then again, I'm gonna sit here being all like, well, this was sort of predictable. Sometimes I always hear people say predictability isn't bad. Sometimes the match quality is important. The match quality makes the match. Yeah, I agree with that, but sometimes the outcome can ruin it. Sometimes the outcome, if you know the outcome, sometimes it spoils the match. To me, this tag team match, I feel like the outcome is going to spoil the match because we know Angelo and Montez have been hanging around on Monday Night Raw. And no, it's not their fault. It's not the Street Profits' fault. I never blame the talent. Never. I never blame the talent for anything that happens on the main roster, let alone in NXT. I never blame them anything. Blame them for anything. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Undisputed Era is going to win this match. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I see it. And then finally we got Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for a third time. Yay! Yay! We're seeing the same two guys fight each other 3 takeovers in a row, just like with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And I can't believe there are people out there that are just accepting this. Honestly, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how people accept this. When people complain about this all the goddamn time on the main roster. I swear to Jesus Christ, if these two guys were on the main roster, and if they were fighting each other 3 pay-per-views in a row for the Universal, WWE, US, Intercontinental, I know for a fact these fans will be bitching about it because they've seen this match enough already. I swear, why do people show favoritism to NXT? This is what I don't understand. Can you take your heads out of Triple H's ass and actually use your darn brains here, please? I am not a fan of seeing this. If you guys don't like it on the main roster, this is another thing I'm going to say. If you people don't like the main roster repeating the same matches over and over again, if it's 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row, if you're sick and tired of the WWE repeating the same matches over and over again, but you enjoy it in NXT, you're just a complete hypocrite. I don't care if the story is better. I hear this all the time. Oh, the story. It's the storytelling that's hooked us to this match. Does it really matter? Does the storytelling really have to matter at all? Sure, maybe it does. Maybe it does have to matter. But at the end of the day, we're seeing the same match that we've literally seen in 2 takeovers in a row. I just don't understand. I'm just being honest here. You people may disagree with me, and I know you will, because this is NXT. But I'm not a fan of seeing the same 2 guys fight each other over and over again. I don't like it on the main roster as much as anybody else. I don't like seeing the main roster competitors fight each other over and over again. If it's the same person over and over again. Trust me, I don't like it as much as the next guy. But you can't tell me you don't like it on the main roster, but you downright like it in NXT. And this is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Wow! They had a 2 out of 3 falls match in their first encounter at NXT Takeover New York. And you're sitting here and you're accepting this? This is the same match that we saw these 2 guys face each other in the first time. 2 out of 3 falls? 2 out of 3 falls, really? We are literally seeing the same match from NXT Takeover New York. We are literally going to be watching the exact same match at NXT Takeover New York. Oh, but there's a little twist. There's a little twist. There's only a little small, tiny little twist to this 2 out of 3 falls match. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole get to pick the stipulations of the first 2 falls. Johnny Gargano picked a street fight, while Adam Cole picked a singles match. And if they go to a 3rd fall, William Regal, the general manager, will decide the final stipulation. That's the only tiny little twist they've added to this 2 out of 3 falls match. Tiny little twist. Just adding a tiny little twist doesn't make me care even more. Because it's still the same thing. 2 out of 3 falls. How many times have we seen WWE use 2 out of 3 falls matches during that period where they had no wrestling during ad breaks? And I'm glad they've gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of the no wrestling during ad breaks. I am very glad that they've removed that. So now people can stop complaining. But better yet, people will still complain when they have 3 commercials during one match. This is literally the same match from NXT Takeover New York, but just with a tiny little twist. Adam Cole's gonna win, because the Undisputed Era vow to leave draped in gold. That's it, guys. That's all I've got for you guys. That is my predictions for NXT Takeover Toronto. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. Comment your predictions as well. See you all in the next video.